If you want exponential growth in your business, you first have to make sure your company can handle it. So this is critical if you really want to grow exponentially, because growth sucks cash. And we've seen a lot of companies, they grow broke. They really don't understand that the faster they want to grow, the more cash they need. And as my partner and mentor Vern Harnish always says, you could be with an okay strategy, you could survive with an okay execution, but you could never survive a day without cash. Cash is oxygen, keeps your company alive. And the more cash you have, the more options. And if you really want to be able to scale faster, you have to have the cash you need to be able to take your company to a next level. Remember, growth sucks cash. The faster you want to grow, the more cash you're going to need. And now let's talk about the 5 rules you need to command or be able to control before you scale your company with the right cash flow. Rule number 1, the number 1 score in your business is not profit, it's cash flow. We've seen a lot of companies that they grow significantly, they say, oh, I have a lot of profit, but the cash never comes back, or it takes a very long time to come back. They have a lot of accounts receivable, and they have all these contracts that they've won, but they don't have any cash coming in, and they run out of oxygen and they die. And always, whenever you scale your company, really what matters is the cash coming in so you could keep operations moving. And that's why whenever you want to sell your business or whenever you want to raise money, the first thing investors look at your business is how much cash you're generating. That's why you've seen evaluations. They tell you, I'm going to pay you a multiple of cash flow generated. So the thing that really matters in any business is how much you generate in cash, not necessarily how much profit you have. So for you, the CEO of the company, the number 1 rule you have to dominate is how much cash flow is your business really getting instead of how much profit you have. Rule number 2, everyone in your leadership team needs to understand the numbers. So here's a big problem. No one really understands financial statements. I've given financial statements to my team for many years. And one day I asked them a question and they said, well, we don't know. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know? Here are the financial statements. You have access to them. And most of them said, we don't know how to read them. It's very, very complicated to read financial statements. So I need to be able to show it to them in a way that they could understand. But most importantly, they could take decisions and really understand decisions that we're taking, what impact they're having in our financial structure. And that will give us the right cash and of course fuel to be able to grow the business. So make sure everyone in your leadership team understand the numbers and which are the numbers that really make a difference in your business. So whenever they're taking decisions, they really could take a decision based on what you're going to have a financial impact in your business, and not just because I think this is going to improve. No, make sure they really understand their numbers so they could help you take better decisions. So rule number 3, like in every book, financial story of your business has 4 chapters. Chapter number 1 is profit. Really important to understand how much revenue we have, how much expenses, how much is profit. Great. Now you know your business structure is right and you have profit. Number 2, working capital. How much working capital is your business sucking to be able to produce that profit? If the cash cycle is very, very slow or very long, there's a lot of money that gets stuck. And you could be having a lot of profit, but all the profit getting stuck in your business, in your working capital, and of course that will kill your cash flow. Number 3, other capital. What other capital expenditures do you have in machinery, investments, depreciations, amortizations, all of the other capital that will really require cash? So the faster you grow, the more capital your business is going to need. And then chapter 4, of course, net cash flow. And this is the most important one. Everything else until now leads to this chapter 4. Make sure how much business is that generating. So imagine you said, hey, I do 100 of revenue and have 10% of profit. Great. But if your working capital is 20%, that means you need to inject 10% in the business to be able to finance that working capital. And then you have capital investments. You have other capital that you need to invest, machines and the rest. And that will tell you exactly how much cash you generate. I've seen companies that the faster they grow, the more cash they have to inject. So whenever I'm in a meeting, I ask them, hey, so what's your strategy for next year? Oh, I'm going to double revenue. So I run my numbers and said, where are you going to get the $4 million you're going to need for working capital? They were like, no, if I double my revenue, I'm going to double my cash flow. Not necessarily. Cash is very, very different than profit. And if you read the 4 chapters, you will really realize the impact of all your decisions, working capital and other capital in your cash flow. Rule number 4, the second most important responsibility of the CEO after defining the strategy is getting cash flow. Cash flow is oxygen to be able to keep your operation. And then the more cash you have, the more options you have. Imagine if in your business you had $1, $2, $5, $20 million in cash. How many options can you have? So rule number 5 is really be able to take the right strategic decisions and then focusing on having cash in the bank or cash in the business that you could use to fuel your growth. And rule number 5, to scale cash, you need discipline. It's really easy to have the right strategy, run your numbers and say, yes, this is what I'm going to do, and have all these assumptions, and then never running your business with those assumptions on those decisions. I've seen a lot of CEOs, they know what they have to do, but then when they're running your business, they run it very undisciplined, and that creates a lot of cash flow problems. And then they call you and said, I cannot pay payroll tomorrow. And they're really struggling to be able to pay payroll so they don't have to shut down their business. So really important, rule number 5 is make sure that you run your business with the discipline that you learn on the first 4 rules. So that way you have the cash flow that you need to take your company to the next level. So if you want to learn more about this, I have a tool that I use all the time with CEOs. Every day that I go into a board meeting or a leadership meeting, the first thing I do is I run the Power of One. It's the most powerful financial tool I've used to scale my businesses. And if you want a copy of my rule, you could go down to the link below and be able to download that tool and be able to take these decisions in your business and be able to have way more control of the financial results of your business so you could really scale your business. So if you want the tool, download it before, there's a link below this video. So there you have it. These are the 5 rules you need to use to run your business to make sure you don't run out of cash and have the cash to fuel the scale of your business and then be able to grow your business exponentially. Make sure you get the right decisions, make sure you have cash so you could really be able to scale your company. If you like these videos, if you want to get more CEO tools to be able to scale your business, please subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be giving a lot of advice on how to really scale your business and take it to the next level. Thank you very much. Look forward to see you on the next video. Bye.